next? Who next? Who next?
All right, y'all. What's going on? Welcome back. Welcome back. It's Combo Breaker 99. Back with another Who's Next, and we are focused on none other than Jessica Andrade. Because as y'all know, this past Saturday, Jessica Andrade had a pretty impressive performance over Lauren Murphy at 125, and the rankings just came out. I probably dropped this video on a Wednesday, so yeah, the rankings are just coming out. Just came out yesterday, and now Jessica Andrade is ranked number 3 at flyweight, but she's dropped a couple of spots at strawweight, and she is now number 6 at 115. So I just wanted to do this Who's Next and talk about the potential opponents for Jessica Andrade moving forward in 2023. Like, who would be the most logical opponent for her in her next fight? You know, she looked really good against Lauren Murphy, very impressive, but her overall goal, like she said, is to move back down to 115 and try to get a fight with Weili, get that rematch. She said, hey, why don't you come over to Brazil, fight me here like I did when I fought you over in China, right? So that's kind of been on her mind. But right now, I think that Weili has Amanda Lemos problems. Even though Andrade defeated Lemos got 2 in a row, and she's in position for a title shot at number 3, where Andrade is number 6, right? So yeah, Lemos, Weili, that's what I want to see next. So in the meantime, where does Jessica Andrade go? Does she stick around at 125? Because she looks good at 125. She definitely looks good at 125. Or does she go down to 115 and fight another fight or two to solidify her next title shot at 115? To me, I think she should go back down to 115, but here's a couple of opponents that she should fight. 1 flyweight and 2 strawweights in the meantime, because either way, you know, she can just drop down. I mean, it's still going to build up her credibility. Everybody knows Andrade fights everybody, right? So first up for me, I would say a fight with Rose Namajunas. I would love that rubber match with Rose Namajunas so much, because these two styles, they just make for a good fight. And it's time to close this chapter. It's time to go ahead and close this chapter. It's been going on for a few years. You know, they're 1-1, and Rose is still ranked pretty high at strawweight. She's ranked higher than Andrade. So I think if she can defeat somebody like Rose, that would get her out of the way, and she could say, hey, I beat somebody that beat you 2 times, Weili, so give me my shot. So at number 6, beating her would definitely put her in that position where Rose is, and secure her title shot, I think, after Lemos. It's still a good fight. Like I said, style-wise, it's one of the best matchups, that striker versus, power puncher style. Their first fight was great. Second fight was a banger, man. So a third fight with Rose definitely would be another action-packed fight. Even if it didn't lead to a title shot, we just need to close that rubber match. But it should lead to a title shot if she beats, a former 2-time champion, Rose Namajunas. Good fight. Let's make that happen in the meantime. Maybe sometime at the midpoint of this year, right? In like May or June or July. But speaking of June and July, second opponent on my list is number 1 contender Manon Fiorot. As y'all know, Manon, she's out from a ruptured ligament. Well, it's already healed up now. She's been doing therapy. She's been working it out after surgery now. But in her last interview, she talked about coming back sometime around July or August. And she wanted to, get a fight with somebody, before she fights the champion by the end of the year, right? So Andrade would be a good name. Andrade, to me, would be a good name. She is the number 3 flyweight. And this fight was originally scheduled when Caitlin wasn't able to fight, but Andrade had the herniated disc, had to pull out. So went back to Chikagian. So if they could go back and get this fight on, I would love it. I think this is a great matchup. Manon's got some good names on the resume now, but she doesn't have this type of fighter on the resume. Somebody that's in that 15 club, somebody that's got 15 wins, former champ, power puncher, very strong at flyweight again. Let me bring that up. Like I said, I told y'all on the stream the other day, you got to be careful with this type of fight. You got to be careful with this type of fight. I know Lauren and Manon are 2 different fighters, but I think Andrade can still make this interesting against Manon. Manon is not going to be there to be hit like Murphy, but you never know how this fight could go. I mean, Andrade goes to the body and everything. She goes to the body now. Her clinch game is on point. She's physically strong. So that's a lot of different type of looks that she's given now. So Manon, if she really wants to secure that spot, and look good on a comeback and just kind of put people in their place about, how they feel about her right now, calling her a duck, that'd be a good win for her. I think she has the style to get it done, those side kicks to the body, her quickness, her combinations and her angles, and even her like spur of the moment takedown sometimes. They could throw Andrade off, So she's gonna have to keep a lot of straight punches in this fight on Andrade. Keep them straight, simple, get in and get out, land good power shots. Possibly she could stop Andrade. You never know. But the opposite could happen as well. So, I think that would be a good test for both fighters. If Andrade did get a good win over Manon, she could argue, I want Valentina again because she got the number one contender out of the way, right? That would secure her rematch at flyweight, Or if she wins it, she could go back down to strawweight. Hey, the possibilities are endless for it, right? But a win for Manon means more because, coming back after surgery, she could rack up that win and then she could say, look, I got Andrade out of here too, so I'm ready, So all around, that's just a good fight for both fighters. But at 115, could Andrade weasel her way in or just squeeze her way in and just kind of throw things off in like May or June against Weili? Can she talk to the UFC and get them to get her a fight with Weili next, though? So that's another opponent that we got to put on that list. She could be next. We never know. The UFC works in crazy ways, and we never get what we want. We want Lemos, but they could say, oh, you know what? The matchmaker said, oh, Andrade already beat Lemos. Why not? Let's make this fight. This is a lot more interesting. You see how that Brazil crowd got? We ought to make this in Brazil. But they might not even do that. They might say, let's take it to China. Weili wants to defend her belt in China. Let's do it this way, all right? She's the more popular fighter. Let's go over here to China, bring Andrade back over, and make this rematch interesting. You know what I mean? Let's make it interesting. It's going to be good. And it could happen. And if it did, I would feel bad for Lemos, but this would be a good fight. This would still be a good fight because this is a much more realistic championship bout for Andrade than the Valentina fight is. Valentina showed that she offered her nothing in that fight. It went 2 rounds, and Andrade had plenty of chances to get something going, but she could never get nothing going, right? But in the first fight with Weili, she was very reckless and made stupid mistakes, and she kind of gave it away. But in a rematch, she could pace herself a little bit more, and the fight could be interesting, right? Andrade always has a chance to win. I mean, if she fights a more disciplined fight, of course, Weili's not Lauren, but if she kind of paces herself out a little bit and thinks more and finds her rhythm and finds her range and lands leg kicks or, sets traps on Weili, she has more of a chance than she did against Valentina, right? And she has more of a chance than she did in the first fight. So it's not going to go like the first fight because Andrade learned from the first fight. She's definitely a better fighter than she was 2 or 3, 4 years ago now, right? She definitely learned from that, So I like that match. I like it. If they squeeze it in, hey, it's definitely going to be a good fight, though. So, I had to put that fight on the list because that could be a possibility. She's calling for the champ. That's the thing. When your call-out game is strong and you let people know and let people in the UFC know you want to fight, they'll give it to you. They'll give it to you, all right? So, yeah, final thoughts. These are my 3 opponents. I really love to see her 115. That's why I had, of course, more straw weights than flyweights. But the flyweight fight with Manon would make sense. But Rose, that's the chapter I like to close. I think that would lead more to her title shot. And it's just a great fight all around. Manon, that's a great fight. Of course, I'll be pulling for Manon in that one because I think, a win at flyweight for Manon would just continue to build up her resume and her strength and her credibility there. And especially going into a Valentina fight. The Weili fight, if they squeeze it in there over Lemos, I would be a little disappointed. But if it happens, we know we're in for a good fight with these two because we know Weili comes to fight, Andrade comes to fight. We can't deny that, right? So it'll be a good fight. And that's what we want at the end of the day, right? So, guys, let me know in the comment section what y'all think. Who's next for Jessica Andrade? Make sure y'all subscribe, hit the like button. Combo Breaker 99. I'm out. Subscribe. Peace.